Hey, what is going on, guys? Welcome back to yet another Destiny 2 video, and today I am so excited to be sharing with you guys a review of the fully upgraded exotic catalyst for the SunShot. Now, if you guys have been living under a rock, then you probably haven't heard that with Season 3, the faction rally has finally come around. It is the very first one, and with it has come some serious changes. Those changes include basically just making the whole experience a lot more grindy, especially if you're trying to reach the maximum rank with your designated faction and get the level 50 exotic catalyst. Now, of course, Future War Cult has the SunShot catalyst, the Dead Orbit has the Graviton Lance, and the New Monarchy faction has the Sweet Business. I personally had a tough choice to make between Future War Cult and Dead Orbit. I'd like to imagine that most of you guys out there picked either Future War Cult or Dead Orbit, but there's probably a few hipsters out there that went for New Monarchy and really wanted to test out what the Sweet Business could do with that catalyst. Those type of people are probably in the minority though. I haven't seen too many people on my friends list with the New Monarchy emblem on, so that's probably indicative of how many people actually chose that specific faction. But that's neither here nor there. Point being is that it is a absolute grind to get to level 50 and unlock the exotic catalyst. It took me about 8 hours of grinding for approximately 2 days, maybe 1.5 days, and then this morning what I actually had to do is upgrade the catalyst fully, and that took some time as well. You will not believe it. Oh my goodness. So the catalyst actually asks you to get kills with the weapon and also asks you to get kills with the explosion once you kill a single enemy. It's important to note though, guys, if you get about 7 or 8 kills, or basically multiple enemies with that explosion after killing one person, the bar will not increase any faster on the catalyst itself, the percentage bar. What you want to do is make sure that you are getting only 1 or 2 people to die with the explosion when you kill an initial enemy. If you get more, you're basically just wasting enemies and it's going to take you a longer amount of time. So if you see 2 enemies stacked up beside each other, kill one of them, let the explosion kill the other, and that's what's going to basically increase that percentage bar as quickly as possible on the catalyst. Now, where is the best place to do this? Well, ladies and gents, right here where I am at. You want to go to Braytech, you want to start up the escalation protocol, and you want to kill all the thrall. You want to train them kind of like it's Call of Duty Zombies, take out 1 or 2 at a time with the explosion, and then go for the next ones and the next ones and the next ones. And once you're done with that, make your way over to this long sector here and clear out the entire thing, focusing on getting double kills only. Once you're done with the actual lost sector itself, go ahead and fast travel back to Braytech, and one full run will get you approximately 4 to 6% on the catalyst. Now, once you're done with the first one, you're gonna have to fast travel and rinse and repeat quite a lot here, guys. It's gonna take you probably about 15 to 20 runs, so prepare for this to be another grind. If you thought the faction rally level 50 was a grind, then this is going to just be another layer on top of that. You could probably expect it to take you an average of 1.5 to 2.5 hours, depending on how optimal and quick you are. But anyways, I did get the catalyst itself, and it gives you greatly increased stability and also greatly increased range. Now, I would say that the stability is a lot more noticeable compared to the range. As you guys can see here, we are at the Leviathan, and I'm testing out how far away you can stand without the range starting to drop off, and I ended up getting to 4 squares from back here. I know it's a very vague measurement, but I got 4 squares, and about 3 squares and 3/4 is where I started to lose drop off. So quite a significant increase. I would probably have to guess it would be about 10% range increase, which is fairly nice, especially in PvP, but nothing like totally dramatic or totally changing the weapon. It doesn't necessarily do that, but it does definitely feel nicer. If you take a look at the catalyst itself before applying it, you can see that the range stat actually changes a lot more than the stability stat, but that's actually a little bit weird. I found that very odd because the stability felt a lot more like it changed compared to the range. Now, if you're somebody who has used the SunShot a lot in PvP, then you probably can tell, where you can kill people from and where it's worth getting into engagements from. But if you're someone like me who hasn't really given this weapon too much of a chance in PvP, then you won't feel too much of a range difference even though it is there. But the stability itself is something that I definitely noticed as soon as I put the catalyst on. It did feel like it had affected it, and I had to like get used to the weapon itself again, because after grinding for the catalyst in PvE for like 2 hours straight, I basically had mastered the stability, and I knew exactly how it was going to kick, how hard it was going to kick, where the gun was going to go, and then I applied the catalyst and I was like, oh wow, this definitely changed the recoil pattern. So what I would say is that the kick is not as far to the side, it's more of a straight kick, and it's also not as hard of a kick either, so it's a lot more user friendly in PvP, and it's not like it makes the weapon incredible or anything like that, but it's a lot more manageable and usable in PvP now. Before, I absolutely hated the recoil, would not touch it in PvP because of that reason, but now you can definitely live with it, and you could probably make some nice plays with it. Now, it's important to note that, of course, I was using this weapon on console, PlayStation 4 more specifically. I have a lot of friends that were actually using the SunShot with a great amount of success before the weapon itself was even reworked, let alone the catalyst was available. So with the catalyst and with the rework, I can probably imagine that this weapon is going to be a new favorite for players on PC, especially for, if we're talking about hand cannons alone, because normally they do use the Dire Promise and the Better Devils, but now this thing is actually better than the Better Devils because it has the same exact range value now. The stability is very comparable. They both have explosive rounds. The only difference is that the SunShot looks a lot cooler, and of course it has those massive explosions every single time you get a kill on somebody, and that can give you a double or triple kill like I just got in that clip right there. So I can imagine that this weapon is going to be a new favorite for those who love to use hand cannons on PC. I still think that there are some better options out there on PS4 and Xbox if we're talking about hand cannons. I personally like the Dire Promise a lot more than this, mainly due to the very nice range, but mostly it's the aim assist. The aim assist on the Dire Promise really is so amazing that I would use that over this on any day. But yeah, it's still not a bad weapon. I'm not trying to like call this a bad hand cannon or anything like that. This would probably be my second option now on console. So if you're somebody who doesn't have a Dire Promise, I would definitely slap on the SunShot. And that's a little bit disappointing because I definitely would have loved to see the SunShot become a very top tier weapon that's comparable at least to the Graviton Lance and the Vigilance Wing. I think it's pretty cool that right now you can use either one of those two weapons if you want to compete, but it would be very nice if there was a little bit more diversity, and that diversity I assumed was going to be the SunShot, but unfortunately it doesn't look like that's going to be the case. I think my issue is that I went into the faction rally expecting a little bit too much from the exotic catalyst, and I think I have to realize that catalysts aren't meant to change the weapon entirely and turn a weapon like the SunShot, which is in my opinion just decent in PvP, into an absolutely top tier amazing weapon. Catalysts are something that probably just upgrade the weapon slightly and make it a little bit better, and it turns a decent weapon like the SunShot into a good weapon, but not into a top tier weapon. Like I said, the Dire Promise is a hand cannon that I would definitely use in basically every situation over the SunShot in PvP, so this is something that I unfortunately won't be using too much in the future. But what I did like from this entire experience of grinding the weapon and using it so much in PvE is that I actually learned that this thing is a really badass weapon when it comes to PvE. I mean, if you're fighting Escalation Protocol enemies or doing a strike with Solar Burn, I think this is going to be my go-to weapon because it seriously can take out so many mobs of enemies with just one simple explosion, and it's pretty powerful as well. Now, I should probably mention that even though the weapon is really good in PvE, it's not because of the catalyst, but rather because of the explosion that they added in the most recent rework of exotics. But still, a very good weapon when it comes to PvE, and a good weapon when it comes to PvP. If I had to rank it, I would say in PvP, this weapon becomes a 7 with the exotic catalyst, and with the exotic catalyst for PvE, this weapon turns into a 9 out of 10. So overall, a 9 and a 7. We're looking at probably an 8, maybe a 7.5 all around, and it's a very fun weapon, and obviously with the ornament I have on it, it is pretty damn beautiful. It's probably one of my favorite ornaments in the game, so I'm happy that I fully upgraded it, and I can now throw this in the vault and use it whenever I please for PvE, and hopefully in the future when the Forsaken expansion comes out, hand cannons will get a buff, they'll get more aim assist, more range, and then this thing can become godly. That's what I'm really hoping for. But that that is going to do it for the video though, guys. I really hope you enjoyed. Tomorrow, what I most likely will be doing is using my friend's account. His name is Pure Chill. You guys probably know him. I'll be using his account to review the Graviton Lance with Hidden Hand and its exotic catalyst. I've heard amazing things about that weapon, and I'm also probably going to double upload and give you guys a review of the Sweet Business. I'm going to have to find somebody with the account and with the catalyst that has it fully upgraded, and I'll give you guys my thoughts on that. Thank you all so much for watching. If you enjoyed, a like rating would be very much appreciated. Subscribe for more daily Destiny 2 content. Have yourselves a great day, and I'll see you all later. Peace.